Welcome to After the Sirens. If you're passionate about history and want to dive into the practical ingenuity of the Vikings, this video is for you. Make sure to subscribe and comment below. Let's explore how Viking Longhouses weren't just homes, but complex hubs of sustainable living and resilient communities that can still teach us lessons today. The Viking Longhouse was far more than a shelter. It was the heartbeat of a community, a space where family, neighbors, and sometimes entire extended clans gathered under one roof. Understanding the construction and function of these structures opens a window into Viking life, revealing principles of efficiency, sustainability, and social cohesion that are surprisingly relevant even now. The Viking Longhouse was designed with sustainability in mind. Vikings relied almost entirely on local resources. Timber from surrounding forests, stone from nearby quarries, and turf for insulation were carefully selected to maximize durability and minimize environmental impact. The walls were often constructed using a post and beam system, reinforced with wattle and daub, a mixture of woven wooden strips and mud or clay. Roofs were steep and covered with overlapping layers of turf or wooden shingles, which insulated against the harsh Scandinavian winters while allowing rain and snow to drain effectively. This design is an early example of energy-efficient architecture, showing how local materials can be used to create strong, thermally efficient structures without modern technology. For modern builders or survivalists, studying these techniques provides valuable lessons in self-reliance. You can replicate small-scale versions with timber, clay, and sod to create off-grid sustainable shelters. Longhouses were also centers of communal living, embodying principles that really strengthened social bonds. Unlike modern individualistic housing, longhouses were shared spaces. Multiple generations often lived together, and responsibilities such as cooking, childcare, and animal care were distributed across households. The central hearth served not only for warmth but as a social anchor. Families would gather around it, exchange news, and make decisions collectively. Understanding this dynamic provides insight into social resilience. For instance, today's survivalist communities can adopt similar strategies. Centralized resources, shared responsibilities, and common meeting spaces can dramatically improve group cohesion and survival in adverse conditions. Viking longhouses illustrate resilient community design. These structures were strategically positioned within villages to maximize protection, accessibility, and cooperation. Farms were often clustered around a common hall, enabling neighbors to share resources, warn each other of danger, and pool labor during harvests or construction projects. This layout minimized vulnerability while promoting economic and social efficiency. You can apply this principle today when planning intentional communities or cooperative living spaces. It's really important to consider the flow of resources, shared responsibilities, and the social infrastructure that's needed to support resilience. The interior of a longhouse also demonstrates the Vikings' ingenious use of space. Sleeping platforms, storage lofts, and animal stalls were all integrated into a single structure without compromising comfort. Every area had a specific function, reflecting a design philosophy where, honestly, nothing went to waste. Modern minimalists and survival enthusiasts can certainly draw lessons from this. Multi-purpose design, vertical storage, and careful resource allocation are, timeless strategies for efficient living. Viking communities were not only resilient physically, but socially. Dispute resolution, communal decision-making, and interfamily alliances were often mediated within the longhouse itself. The layout and size encouraged transparency and mutual accountability, creating a form of social architecture as effective as the physical structure. In modern survival or cooperative projects, building similar systems of governance and shared responsibility can dramatically enhance community durability under stress. Understanding longhouses also teaches us about adaptability. Longhouses were not static. They evolved to meet the needs of expanding families, changing climate conditions and economic shifts. Extensions, renovations and modifications were made using available resources, demonstrating a culture of practical flexibility. Applying this principle today means designing spaces that can grow or shift as needs change. Essential knowledge for self-sufficient builders and historical reenactors aiming for authenticity. To put these lessons into practice, well, it's best to start small. Try experimenting with sustainable materials for home projects, design communal spaces in shared living situations, or maybe implement social systems that encourage collaboration and resilience. Recreating elements of a longhouse, whether that's a hearth-centered living room, a multifunctional workspace, or a centralized storage area, provides insight into Viking ingenuity and really fosters a mindset geared toward efficiency, sustainability, and survival preparedness. In summary, Viking longhouses were more than architectural feats. They were blueprints for sustainable living, communal cooperation, and resilient social structures. By studying their design, materials, and social function, modern enthusiasts can learn valuable lessons applicable to both everyday life and survivalist planning. If you found this deep dive into Viking Longhouse secrets insightful, make sure to subscribe to After the Sirens for more historical explorations. Comment below with your thoughts and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts. These lessons from the past are timeless, and the more we explore, the more we understand how ancient societies thrived against the odds.